Welcome to another spectacular, illustrious episode of the Bacchanal Podcast. I'm your host, Akil, joined by my right-hand man in the TO Goon Squad Toronto.
Keep going.
Weekend, ruiner of the halftime show.
That's a lie. That thing is lit.
Lit like a crack
Scarborough
pipe.
man stand up.
Lit
Scarborough
like a crack
stand up.
pipe. And we got returning guest Alonzo.
What's going on, fam?
Hey, what's good?
Black Scholar.
Black scholars up here working for these white.
Alonzo, you look like you would belong in that Judas movie. Like you'll be an extra in the background.
I got what it takes.
Yeah, man. Tell him, Brother Hampton.
You know, right, was that right, Fred? Y'all heard what Fred said?
Yep. Tell him, Fred. All right, so today's episode, of course, we're going to be talking about this new Fred Hampton movie that's on HBO Max.
Yes.
But before all that, Zack Snyder's like, I know y'all trying to clap cheeks on Valentine's Day, but I'm going to give you a gift of my own. Brand new spanking trailer to the new Justice League movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I'm optimistic. I'm gonna watch it. It's 4 hours long. The last time he gave us extra content with BVS, he just gave us a shower scene with Batman's booty hole. So hopefully he does more with this. Hopefully he's gonna elaborate on these dream sequences. We're gonna watch the trailer together. I'm not gonna play any music because I don't want to get sued.
Yeah, man, that YouTube be coming through like, hey, young. Making us up in that.
Get that red alert message. Get that exclamation point with the message attached.
So we're gonna take a look at this and we're gonna talk over as we watch. So Superman, he out here's chest pulsating. He's like, ah!
Looking like an angry Caribbean mom in a house because the house ain't clean.
He's like,
the
the
voice
White House must fall.
perforated.
Maybe he's trying to storm the Capitol. The White House will fall.
What I say on Instagram, this is the hip hop montage, man. That slow mo. We're getting 4 hours of that. They're gonna stretch this thing out.
God.
Oh goodness.
But I'm not gonna lie. It looks kind of nice. It looks kind of.
What happened to all the color, man? This shit's just gray and just ugh.
Hey man, let him do his thing, man. Let him have his.
What
his
happened
vision.
to the color and personality? Batman depressed. Okay, here's my thing, Casey. Is this dream sequence gonna be an hour of him just?
That's about to be
dreaming.
40. A clean 40 minutes. That's gonna be a clean even 40. I can feel it already. That thing is gonna be long.
Because
That man's about to take a nap in his dream.
He got knocked out within his dream last time. Remember the last dream he got punched in the head?
He's gonna live a whole life.
He
with
woke
that
up
thing.
tied up.
He's gonna have a full experience. He's gonna be a whole new man coming out.
He's
of
on ecstasy. Like you don't just dream that heavy.
Yeah, he's on. That's drugs. I ain't know.
Okay, you see my
That's
girl
that
to the
ayahuasca.
right. Granny goodness, boy.
Granny goodness.
Yeah, I seen people hyping this thing up with this old lady in the back corner. Like that's some DC like.
Silver Fox.
There's Granny on the Weight Watcher program. She ain't no
What
big
the hell is
beast
she
no
doing?
more.
What is her powers? Like,
I don't know.
what's
I
going
just
on
know
with
she got the
20?
voice of a man.
What's going on with 2021 and these old women being like the bad guys now? Like in Marvel WandaVision, which we're gonna talk about also in the pod.
Well, yo, she
Got
needs to
old
get
lady
voiced
who
by Vin
she's from.
Rames. Wouldn't that shit be hilarious?
What's the dude in the hoodie in the back corner too? Who's he?
It depends on which Bing Range you get. You gonna get Bing Range from Baby Boy or Bing Range from Holiday Heart?
No, we're not getting Holiday Heart. We're gonna get Baby Boy,
Vin Range.
Mission Impossible, Vin Rames.
Oh, what?
Classic Vin Rames. No, Vin Diesel.
Youngster.
Let him do double duty.
Youngster.
Let him bring that I am Granny. I am Granny.
This movie's gonna suck, man, but I'm gonna watch it.
That's what you're saying.
This is gonna be shit. You know what sucks too is that this trailer is DC makes the best trailers, but this trailer is so good. I'm not gonna be watching 4 hours of content. It's making me want to go back and watch the original version of this movie. So I'm putting myself through torture to watch the original version, which is what, 2 hours, 2.5 hours plus the 4. What is wrong with me?
What is it in the name of a reject Goro is this? Like,
He looked terrible.
This is a full 3D movie.
Now that scene was in the original one that we saw. With
Yeah,
Josh
that was.
Whedon.
Yeah, I remember
Yes,
that.
it was.
Yep, because he was.
It
just
looks
killing
good.
them.
His costume looks better there.
Aqua Bro. Ray Fisher.
So it's supposed to have more Cyborg in this movie, I'm hearing.
Yes. I'm gonna show
So
you
you might
like
get a
him
whole
in high
hour.
school and all that stuff. Got some Alfred scenes right there. Superman.
That looks dope.
Batman
that
looked like such a
part
hater, man. He's like, look at this nigga fly.
Now he's flying. I just like the cape. He's actually rocking the cape.
Look
he
at him
just
fly.
he just hating on. He's like, oh, he think he all that because he can fly. I can buy some shit. You can't buy nothing, bro.
Can't buy that.
That's why when his house is getting foreclosed and he paid for it, that was a flex. He didn't do that out of the goodness in his heart. That was him flexing, saying that even though you have all this, you know, you could fly, you have all this power, you still broke. That's what that was. He was trying to bring him down to reality with that shit.
Superman should have been like, damn, I wish I could have thanked your dad for you getting this money to buy me this. Thank you. Thanks,
Okay,
Bruce.
did you guys see that? Like, there's like a picture of Jonathan Kent as he drops into the water.
Yeah.
Who died like a sucker. Remember he walked into that tornado, he's like, nah, son. It's like no more child support payments from me.
That was the dumbest part of that whole movie.
That tornado just take
It
him
really
away.
was, though.
That was like the biggest crux of the movie. It was
made
like,
no
yo,
sense.
no, don't show them you have powers.
He's
What?
like, Dad,
You
I can move
fly
so fast,
quick?
no one will even know this.
Yeah.
Nah, son.
It's
I've
like,
been
nah,
on this
we
earth way
peeped
too
it.
long.
Sick of your moms, man. Your moms pissed me off. I am out of here.
Like, I'm out.
See,
I don't know.
fish?
It's supposed to have emotional impact, this scene, I'm guessing, but I'm not sure if that's going to work. Ray Fisher, he's like, yeah, your boy, the Rock. Rock's in the building.
It's your boy.
Now, okay, here's the other thing that pisses me off. Why is she struggling to reach her sword when we know she can fly? They showed you her flying in 84. She forgot?
Bullshit, man.
Thank you.
Y'all must have forgot. Yeah,
I was
man.
wondering
We
the
got
same
Black
thing.
Iris. You see Black Iris West right here?
Okay. She looking at him like, damn. Like,
I've never been with a white man before.
Yeah. So,
Thinking about
you think in a moment like that, she'd be more in a panic.
She'd be like,
You know,
ah! She's like, I got this Rihanna Fenty makeup on. I ain't about to mess that shit up.
Yeah. She look good though. So she's gonna be a character in the movie with like
I
actual
guess
story.
they're gonna try to flesh out Barry Allen's story, which I don't like this
Okay.
Barry Allen. I'm not really
I ain't
crazy
mad at
about
him.
Ezra Miller as a
I'm not mad at
person.
it.
So
Mhm.
we'll see.
I don't know.
I feel like Ezra Miller would have been a better like Riddler, like somebody like that. I think he was miscast.
At least he didn't put her in a headlock or choke her up there. Right? Let's see.
All right, so
That looks
before he
dope.
flies, he's like affecting gravity, kind of like in Man of Steel.
Yeah, it looks
Cool.
dope. That looks clean.
I like the black suit.
Yeah.
Good
People are
look.
gonna complain. They're like,
Sleek.
but he
Sleek.
doesn't have long hair and no beard. Oh,
He doesn't have a mullet.
mullet.
Did they fix Ezra Miller's running? Probably didn't.
So that's the Russian scene or whatever at the end.
Yeah, we got Superman in the black. Okay, we're not at that scene yet. Batman looked tired, man. He ready to retire.
He
So-
is over it.
Mm-hmm.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. Let y'all niggas know. Put his name in the front. It's like a Tyler Perry production.
Yeah, man. Let him get his vision out.
For those that have messed up wigs, we'll be okay.
All right, here's
Hey, hold on.
the infamous scene everybody's talking about.
Uh-oh.
Let me stop the share because I'm going to make sure I share it with audio so we can hear it.
HBO Max, man. Y'all are killing it. Y'all are killing it. How the hell?
I like free content.
Let's get to this. Here we go. Hear it, okay?
Isn't that right? Batman
All right, let's rewind it. 'cause
Rewind
I
it,
missed
rewind it, rewind it, yeah.
We missed it.
has to.
So we don't get copyright. I'm gonna talk over this. Zack
Yeah.
Snyder's
Talking.
Justice League.
Zack Snyder.
Honor is a
Is that a SWAT bulletproof vest?
What did he say without honor? What did he say?
Is a distant memory.
Honor.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Honor is a distant memory.
Honor is a distant memory. Isn't that right, Batman?
Batman.
I was expecting him to say some wild shit like, "A period don't stop nothing." Batman. You see all
So
that
what he
blood
said-
on. I'm like, Joey's wild. You trying to get all philosophical over it. The society's a distant memory.
So is he like saying like, "Yo, you killing people now, Batman? I see you out here." Is that
I don't know. I
basically
feel
what
like the world's gone so crazy that the Joker got some sense now.
I want, yeah, because I wonder, like, there's like that old adage of like death before dishonor, and like, so it's like, it makes me think about that as he says honor like is a distant memory. It's like, okay, where's the envelope being pushed in this film before we get to this scene where it's like, because we've seen this back and forth between the Joker and Batman.
They're gonna kiss in this movie. It's gonna
like we've seen it before. Where he's like the Heath Ledger version. Where he's like, "Don't talk like them. You're not one of them." But like, so it's obviously a different Joker, different setting, different premise. This is gonna be really interesting to see.
So what he said fully was, "We live in a society where honor is a distant memory." Isn't that right, Batman?
Isn't that right, Batman?
I still like my, period ain't gonna stop nothing. And you got the blood on his face. I feel like that's more Joker than this. He trying to get all philosophical over here. He done read some memes, and now he thinks he woke. And he's sitting on that bridge waiting for Batman in the sunlight with the sunshine and, sun setting. The mood set right. And he looking into his eyes. I see he got rid of his tattoos. So he took time to stop at a laser removal shop and get them tattoos removed.
Grow the hair out.
Grew the hair out for the boy.
The Jim
Smeared his makeup all. He's like,
you got the Jim
Caviezel let Batman know.
Joker looking like he got the Jim Caviezel Jesus hair. Like, what's this wafting in the breeze? What's going on?
He's trying to grow out the dreads. Dready Joker.
The Rasta Joker next? Come on now.
I like the Rasta Joker. Didn't they do that one time in that one Batman reboot cartoon? Joker was black. And he had the deep voice. He sounded like he'd been smoking. He had that Fred Hampton bass to his voice, that smooth voice, menthol voice.
Oh man, this movie's a mess. It's gonna be a mess.
It looks like it's gonna be a bloated.
Get your diapers. It's gonna be a long one.
Oh boy.
It's gonna just have like fan service. Like it's gonna be a dream sequence and it'll be like, I'm Deathstroke. You oh shit, nigga, and then you go see a green light. Oh shit, nigga, that's a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Oh shit, and it's gonna all be a dream and not be worth shit.
It's or a memory, a distant memory.
How long is this supposed to be again?
4 hours.
4 hours.
He said, "Fuck your time."
You thought the Irishman was bad? Shit.
Damn.
I'm taking the day off just to watch it.
See what this guy got people doing? You're gonna be extra pissed off now.
I was hoping I heard you incorrectly the first time when you said,
"Oh man, 4 hours, man."
Nah, I ain't doing that.
Take the day off. You better say, man, I'm about to ignore my kids for 4 hours. And it's rated
Zach. Slap Zach. That's gonna be the next hashtag. Slap Zach.
That is a long time to go through something, man. That's
4
hours.
All right, I gotta ask y'all something. This movie's rated R. You think Batman's gonna look at a situation and be like, fuck this, and like just walk off or something? Like they could do it. They got the R rating.
I think he will.
If there's ever a moment for him to say that, like he could do it during the nightmare. Maybe he's outgunned during the fight. I'm not built for this shit and fly like something.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
They got the R rating. They could drop a FU at least
cut a head off.
Yeah, you could chop a head off.
Could show a nipple,
or just the traditional fuck.
Or he's just dusting. Oh, fucking shit. Fucking Robin died. He's supposed to be doing this shit.
He's gonna slap Joker. You crazy fuck.
He's gonna cut that Alfred because he's the only
Snyder.
One. Fuck it, Alfred. I'll do it myself.
I want an Alfred movie, man. He's like the only actor in this this story that actually feels like, oh shit, like very interesting in the story to me. Like
there's supposed to be a Green Lantern appearance, and I want to say I'm excited, but I feel like it's gonna be something where the character's so far away, you're like, I think that's Hal Jordan. I think they're gonna do something like that, probably.
Who do you think the casting's gonna be?
I would like a Hal Jordan. I would like, my dream casting would be old ass Tom Cruise as like a old.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it's gonna be
Hal
Tom
Jordan.
Cruise. He's been quiet,
but I don't think they got the dollars for that. So we might just get a random black guy, and he gonna say he Jon Stewart, or they might just grab a random redhead. Be like, hey, we got Guy Gardner.
Give him a biker vest and paint it green quick.
They gonna give us Eddie Redmayne. I'm Guy Gardner.
Yeah, man. I don't know about this one, man. I gotta watch this in breaks. I gotta watch this in breaks. I gotta.
Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna do an hour session.
I'm gonna need an intermission.
Oh,
this is a long one.
God.
Last movie that tried this shit was Hamilton and that Western movie, and both those I put off for a bit and didn't go back for a couple of days.
I've yet to watch The Irishman. I've yet to watch that.
Yeah, man.
Same
3 hours.
But I am glad he's not doing it like a weekly tune in every an hour a week. Just let the thing out, band-aid it, you know, just
get it over with.
You feel okay. Get your vision out there. I heard it's in Dolby Vision, Dolby IMAX, so the screen isn't gonna be like a 1080p or 4K like fully fleshed out screen. It's gonna be in a kind of a box look, so that might be a little daunting to some people watching it. You know what I mean? A little. So I don't know, man. It's very interesting. It's very cool, and I feel like it sets the tone for like what we're gonna see in the future of other movies. Like, oh, what if this got a revision? Like, what if this got?
I don't want that, man. Who wants to see Suicide Squad, David Ayer cut?
Not even just Suicide Squad, but just other movies like that.
Iron Man 3 cut, the Shane Black version.
Yeah, but what if you see like how they redid Dragon Ball Z and they cut those shorter, they cut the crap out of it and they condensed it down, and people are like, yo, this is the best Dragon Ball Z now. Like, we were sitting through those episodes where it was like, yeah, Goku for like, you know, 10 minutes. Now it's like condensed down and people love it. So what if we get something like that, you know, in the future, like re-envisionings of these
I don't know, man. That's just too much fan service, man. Like they're gonna have to backpedal with every little film.
Yeah,
I didn't like what you did with that first film. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna make a nerd cut version just for you to fix all the stuff you guys complained about.
I'm gonna make up for it now. I'm gonna make up for it.
It's gonna be the new thing where we're gonna be like, well, this version sucks, so we're gonna complain on Reddit until we get our version that we want.
You like Carl Lewis singing the national anthem. I'm gonna make up for it.
Like that's like somebody being like, yo, I'm not happy that they killed Black Widow. Well, don't worry, we got the Hawkeye cut where he falls and dies. Hope you enjoyed this one. The Hawkeye cut.
Yeah, it's just an interesting thought. Let's go back to the actual trailer.
Okay, let me pull that back.
I'm excited. I don't mean bring it back. I'm just saying. Back on the rails of the actual movie in the trailer. Like, do you guys think it's gonna stick the landing? Do you feel it's gonna be a trash?
I feel like people could finally say, "Hey, we have it." And they can finally shut up about it, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's over and done with. You know what I'm excited for? Suicide Squad. I'm not even excited for this film. I'm excited to see what the hell John Cena does with PC and why he gets a TV show.
Yeah,
because of it. So that to me tells me that he's going to kill it. So that's what I'm excited for. I don't even care about this Justice League. Give me the new crazy ass rated R Suicide Squad.
What are the odds? What if they pull this off and this is a success? Like, this is the best comic book movie that we've ever seen, and it rekindles the momentum of the DC universe that Zack Snyder created.
Nope.
What would happen? Not happening, huh?
That's an Elseworld story right there, man.
He pulled the plug.
Yeah, done.
He's like, no.
So it's like, what is the point of this? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing then?
I agree with Akil. I'm like, it checks the box, if nothing else.
Checks the box. The people that want to get it.
This is gonna be the most fan servicey, bloated, empty, shallow thing I think we were gonna see all year.
Yo, what if they change the booyah scene? Because at the end he's like booyah, and it has like emotion. Like it has no emotion. What if this time it's like booyah, and he winks at the camera like, yeah, nigga, this is the right version. Right?
Probably will.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Screw you, Joss Whedon.
What if Aquaman is like, instead of my man, he's like my friend. You know, like, instead of being like, you know, cheesy and racist.
Nah, they rated R. They might say nigga. He might say
yeah, you might.
They rated R.
I was thinking that, but I didn't want to get that one out. But yeah.
He's racially ambiguous. He might get away with it, man.
Oh man. But yeah,
Cyborg might look at him and be like, yeah, well, let's slide.
I'm half offended.
I am. Yeah, he's half black. He's half robot, half black, man.
So did the cast come back and do any extra stuff for this role?
Yeah, they did some reshoots, and then they brought people in, like Jared Leto scene. He called Jared Leto like off his couch, like, "Hey, bro, you doing anything?" He's like, "No, bro. I already got the makeup on right now, man. Let's go shoot this." Like, he just called him, and he came and did that because he's been chilling. They keep pushing back Morbius, so All he got to hold on right now is Joker. You know Tyrese is somewhere punching air because he's in the Morbius movie. Black tie somewhere.
Tyrese having the Cuba Gooding Jr. moment.
Keep pushing back my moments.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I just saw something, man. Let's make Black. Oh, he was campaigning for that. Let's make Black Tie Jon Stewart. It'll be the most overacted Jon Stewart shucking and jiving, but it'll be so bad that it's good.
It's like watching it. You just want to. You go to the race car.
It'll be like a train wreck, but you just can't look away. You're like, look at Tyrese's Jon Stewart. It's so bad, it's amazing. You know he'll bring the jokes like, "How I turned this thing on." You know he'll do some dumb shit like that with the ring, and you know there'll be like a ha ha moment or oh shit.
You gotta get like 3 sabotage missions to get to that one moment where he does something right.
He's gonna have an ejecto seat. Ejecto seat, bitch. You know he's gonna have an ejecto seat.
I'm hungry. We hungry.
I'm hungry, bro. I'm gonna make me a hot dog with this ring. Ha
Oh boy, this movie.
Yeah,
sad story, man.
Yeah.
Nah, don't do that, man. It's Black History Month. We don't need Tyrese as Black. Green Lantern. I'm just joking, y'all. Before Hollywood executives like these Negroes are onto something here. Listen, let that disclaimer that we are joking. Y'all don't need to cast him as Green Lantern. This is.
I'm with Casey. I'm like, it's 4 hours.
I can drive to Ottawa at that time.
4 hours.
Like,
damn.
You really think about it as an adult. It's like
confident, aren't
4
we?
hours?
It's a trip to Atlanta, man, from Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm like, BC, you got a lot of balls. 4 hours.
Taking the day off, man. I think I gotta be under the influence.
Jeez,
I'm gonna drink some of those dragon milks. They're like 11% alcohol. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna join that nightmare with Batman. We're gonna be in the nightmare together.
Don't message me after because I know you're gonna be. This is bullshit. I want no bad energy.
We're gonna have a group chat.
This movie sucks, man.
with the bat mask on.
I could have been beaten off to X video instead of this shit.
Yeah, I'm right, man.
Had my day off doing this shit. I can already see the text messages.
I think I'm gonna do the first 2 hours on the 18th, and then I'm gonna finish the other 2 hours on the 19th.
You can't, because people are gonna spoil it. People are gonna spoil it, man.
Yeah, you
gotta wake up the next day. Green Lantern's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, exactly. God damn it! I can't watch this no more.
People can't hold water for shit.
I'm just gonna sit down and watch it.
You just gotta get
4 hours of your life on the 18th, Casey.
I'm gonna put a diaper on. I'm gonna put 2 drinks right here on the side of my head.
And it's the middle of the week, like they put it on a Thursday.
Frozen tacos right by the side of my TV with the microwave just to keep myself full.
That Friday, Falcon Winter Soldier.
Ooh.
They don't want to compete with the heat, son.
That's some smoke right there, man.
Smoke. That's some Nas Jay-Z type shit. Oh, yeah. I'm coming out the same weekend.
Yeah, that's Party Next Door, the weekend type shit.
They don't want to compete with the heat, son.
Nah, man. I'm watching that for sure. I'm watching that first.
Y'all want to transition to some Marvel talk?
Yeah, since we're on that topic. Yeah.
All right, so we made my man over here, Alonzo, binge every single episode of WandaVision.
I went in. I got it done, man.
Nice, did a deep dive, so you're fully immersed in the world of Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we start talking about this last episode, I want to know what you think and how was it like as they slowly peel that onion.
So I when I got to episode 5, I had texted Akil. I said, "Damn you, Marvel, you pulled this shit off." Because like when it first starts off, I'm like, okay, this is Marvel meets Leave It to Beaver or Marvel meets TV Land type stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're like, as it builds throughout the episode, you're like, okay, I get the premise of what you're going for. And again, you see the shift. By the time you get to episode 4, you're like, shit, this is Marvel meets Full House. And then you're like, this is Marvel meets Malcolm in the Middle. But like,
yeah,
I like the premise of what they did with WandaVision. It was very creative. It was engaging, and there's enough there like to keep your attention throughout each episode. So I know a lot of people are like, I don't get it, or If it's boring, I'm like, nah. You actually like just have to really be engaged with what the hell is happening because it's pretty engaging. It's actually like it had that Marvel meets sitcom type of thing, but you still get you're not so wrapped up in the sitcom feel that you nullify the Marvel comic book storyline. So it's like, okay.
One thing I'll say though, I feel like they're kind of oversimplifying Monica Rambeau's origin story. I feel like the next episode is gonna be like, "Girl, I got powers." Like I feel like that's gonna happen because they're hinting at they're like, "Your DNA's changing." She's like, "I'm good."
Agreed.
She keeps like brushing it to the side. Girl, you're changing. She's like, whatever. And then she's attempting to go back into the bubble. You know her DNA's gonna change again. So I'm just like,
Facts.
I got a new wild ass theory though. Are you ready for it?
Uh-oh.
Join me on this journey, Casey. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm here.
So the acting director, there was a Marvel Avengers cartoon where Ultron made himself like a humanoid and he was pretending to be like an agent. What if this guy's like a humanoid Ultron?
Quite possible.
That's completely left field from the whole Mephisto and Nightmare thing, but maybe he might be working with them. I don't know. Why? Because he's so like hell-bent on tracking Vision.
Yeah.
Because they're checking his decaying vibranium.
Get back his son.
Everything that he was looking at was Vision related. Like he don't really care about Wanda. Like he was ready to kill Wanda. He like, we could dead her real quick. Let me get Vision back because I want that body.
Facts.
That's all he's thinking about. So I'm just like, is that Ultron?
It's a good theory. It's possible. I hope so. Ultron was so
really dope.
He did so much great
decoy.
Things. Yeah, so it's like.
But the weird thing is, in his office, he has a hexagon. Like the shape of his pictures in the office are shaped like a hexagon.
And the carpet on the floor.
He got some type of. What else was on the floor?
The carpet has hexagons on it.
The hex.
So yeah, he has some type of something going on with the devil. But I feel like everybody's like Mephisto, Nightmare. Watch Marvel be like, nah.
Yeah.
Robot bitches, like trick all of us.
I saw another theory on YouTube. These guys who break it down into the finest of tooth combs. You know what I mean? But they're saying he might be a not a Skrull, but the other squad in the space. You know,
Kree.
He might be Kree because they had hexagons all over the place in their stuff. Their technology's hexagons. Their decorations in their house is all hexagons. So he could be like a Kree person just there hanging out. And like when I paid attention to him, remember before I was telling you about him, something's off about him. Like he's a shifty asshole.
You cut his ass to see what color he bleed.
Exactly. But like there's times where he'd be in the rain and everybody else is all sheltered up like this and he's just standing in the rain like, what answers do you have for me? You know, it's like, what, this guy's standing cold ass rain like that? There's something going on with him. So
I don't know, white people do that a lot, man. Like when it's cold, they still got shorts on. Maybe he's just a white man.
Yeah, man, just walk to Timmy's in, just grab you one, you know?
Like that Nordic blood just keeps him warm.
I don't know, but yeah, I noticed there was something very fishy about him. But he's not like, I don't know, he's not the best villain. So if it's just him, it's kind of lackluster. I'm hoping that like her brother is like maybe a villain trying to just get the answers out of her.
Yeah, he don't seem real. What I mean? Yeah, he don't seem real at all.
He seems like somebody else who just zoomed in and kind of like trying to take advantage of the situation too, because he's always like, so how did it happen? Tell me.
Because he knows stuff that he shouldn't know because he died since Ultron. So how's he know events after that? Like he's talking about stuff after he died. I'm like, that ain't him, man. That's somebody.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. Because he goes to Vision. When Vision is out of the thing and the sun uses his powers to see, he's like, yo, he's already died once already. You don't got to worry about it. And then she like blasts him away. It's
exactly.
Like, well, he wasn't alive for that.
Right.
I didn't even know that. He wasn't alive for that.
You were 10 when you died. Like, okay.
You know what I mean? So how did the brother know that? You know, so that's where I was like, what? No,
remember the last thing he said before he died is he didn't see that coming.
Just but saying. You didn't see that coming.
Yeah. So he's a very interesting character. I'm hoping that he is like more of an antagonist. And
Casey, you know who I feel bad for though? Aaron Johnson. He at home watching this shit with his wife. He's like,
bet he didn't see that coming.
He thought that because he saw the show, he's probably like, oh shit, I'm about to get that Marvel check again. Yeah, man, my time has come, boy. They haven't seen me since Ultron. They're like, no, we're going in their direction.
You got that.
The agent probably got that call. Marvel decided to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, pulled
He
old
might
buddy
be back.
Quicksilver.
I feel like they might use footage of him or use his character, his face in some way in a future episode of WandaVision.
I haven't seen that brother since Tenet, man. He gone, bro.
I think we're gonna see if they use old footage from the old movie. We're gonna see something from him. I that's personally what I think. I have no idea, but it would just be kind of dope if they did that. So,
what if Aaron Johnson, or not Aaron Johnson, the Evan Peters who's playing her brother now?
Mm-hmm.
What if his face changes and he's like, "I'm Mephisto," and this character's Mephisto the whole time?
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be good. It'd be good because
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out why they decided to use the X-Men face. They could have just used any person and just been like, "Hey, that's Quicksilver." Like they specifically.
It's just fan service,
right?
The X-Men.
I'm just thinking, what's the most like? You got to think of it like, what tools could he bring to the future of Marvel, like that character? Because they're kind of doing House of M right now, right? And like
House of M was a wild book. I just finished it. And she just killed all the mutants.
Like,
that's how it ends. She's just like, no mutants. I was like, what's next? Credits. The book is done after that. It's all Quicksilver's fault. Like he found out that they were gonna murk his sister. He was like, "Oh God, y'all ain't about to kill my sister." And he went.
It's a cool concept.
He's like, "Sis, they're trying to kill you, sis.
You could do anything."
And she's like, "Yo, make a perfect world where everybody's happy." And I think the one person that got the most pissed was Spider-Man.
Yeah, he did.
He was living a good life. He was married to Gwen. He had a nice fade too. He had a fade. He had some kids. He was living the dream. And then Wolverine come with his ass because the stuff didn't work.
I was like, leave him alone, man.
Everybody was living the good. Like it was really Wolverine's fault. Like
Wolverine was
he's like, nah, bub, I can't keep living this lie.
No, can't keep living this lie.
Yeah, Wolverine was
gotta do something.
Wolverine had the perfect life. He was banging out
Mystique,
and she just kept changing form. She's like, you like redheads usually. He's like, nah, bub, I want the real. I want the real deal. Jumps out of a window, bro. Just like this, chest open, no parachute. I was like, oh, like, there's a whole.
He killed himself.
He
Come back
falling
again.
like that. Wolverine's
How
a
long
wild
was I
man.
out? How long was I out?
Logan.
Picture seeing that,
messed
like you in
everybody
New
up.
York, you see this 5'3" dude just jump off the building. Fuck it.
Logan
Land, dust himself off.
What's crazy is that they all blame Magneto. Magneto's like, yo, I don't know what y'all talking about.
Yo, real talking, Wolverine fault. Everybody was living in harmony. Scott was living with.
It was
Emma
definitely
Frost.
Logan's fault.
Everybody, it was Logan's fault just because he didn't like the life he lived.
He snitched.
Yeah, he ruined everybody's life. Doctor Strange was like a pediatric doctor working with kids. Everybody happy. Not Logan. Nah, bub. These thoughts need to leave. Luke Cage went from being bald to having cornrows. I think that was his dream.
Yeah, Luke Cage had a full. Luke Cage had a full head of hair, a thick head of hair too.
I
had a thick head of hair. I couldn't even tell the difference between
cornrows.
I couldn't tell the difference between the shadow, the darkness in the sewer, or his hair is so thick. I was like,
yo, man, they gave my guy the thickest dookie.
The braid up went back to his upper back.
And going Tyler Perry.
Yeah, they Tyler Perry'd him, man. He was like the dude from the soap opera with the braid up in that Tyler Perry.
That's the one thing I was upset with House of M. I was like, yo, everybody living a good life except Luke Cage. He out here thugging with the cornrows.
In a damn sewer with the same dusty ass yellow wife beater on. I was like, y'all could have done him better than that. Come on. Yeah, House of M was cool, but like, what can they do with Quicksilver in the Marvel MCU that's beneficial in the future? So it's like, why
run back in time? Could he do that? Run back in time and fix stuff? Grab?
I don't think he's
Black Widow and drop her off.
He's not the Flash now.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm with Casey. I'm like, what's the ceiling for this particular character?
That's what I mean. Like his impactful stuff is already happening before our eyes in this show. So that's why it'd be a good idea for him to maybe be Mephisto, or be another antagonist. And it's like, oh shit, he wasn't even him. He's just a magic maker who's fooling people. Nightmare.
Now here's another theory, Casey. Somebody was saying that like they just grabbed this Vision from a different timeline, like before he died. But I don't think that's true, because after he walked out that barrier, he started falling apart.
Well, he started getting pulled back in. I don't think he started.
It looked like he was like decaying.
The what?
It looked like his body was like decaying when he got out of the barrier.
No, it was like pulling him back in.
Oh,
So
it was just basically her saying like, "Get your ass back."
Yeah,
in.
it was on a molecular
okay.
level. It was like pulling him back, like holding him. He was trying to push forward, but it was like, no, you're not going to the club tonight. Stay there, stay home. You know?
So he could possibly be pulled from before he died.
What we just saw was him alive in the real world, so he's definitely really there. You know what I mean? I think we're not even watching the real Wanda. I think we're watching a fake Wanda who's doing all this stuff to make her mind
Casey, too
happy.
deep for me now.
But then she's actually somewhere putting the damn yellow crystal together. I think that's what we're seeing. Because I see in the trailer, she's like, it shows a part where she's doing stuff with the yellow.
That
yellow
might be
gem.
a flashback.
Because in the comic book, it has a part where she's playing with her kids, and then they're like, he was like, "Yo, I just talked to you," and she's like, "Oh no, that's just the one I put there to, you know, to do the servings of Magneto to make him happy. I'm the real Scarlet Witch." And dude was like, "Oh shit!" So when I was seeing that in the comic, I was like, "Yeah, what if she's doing that in the show? Like we're watching this show and it's all this stuff happening, and that's all a facade. Like the show's a facade to make us think, and to make the people watching the show in the show think that she's doing all this random stupid bullshit, but really she's there like, oh shit, I don't got much time. They're coming. I gotta put this thing back together so I can save Vision.
Well, why can't she just call Suri? She was right in Wakanda. Suri was building. She's like, yo, Suri's like, yeah, I could make you a stone. I just didn't have enough time. They threw me out the window.
They ain't got the
good
time.
now. Let me get back to work on the stone.
If Suri got taken seriously in the Marvel universe, Marvel would be just fine. She would have saved everything.
Yeah,
already.
they wouldn't need Tony Stark if they had Suri doing what she needed.
Suri's smarter than Tony Stark. That's why they never made Tony Stark meet Black Panther like that, because he would have been like, so how did you do this? In 10 minutes? You put this whole thing? It took me 3 movies, you know, like
so they were clowning them with Ultron. They're like, why'd you make the AI like that? Like, why didn't you just do this?
Exactly.
Like,
so they can't. Wakanda is a problem for Marvel right now, probably, because they're too smart, they're too strong, they're too advanced. So, you know, I feel you. They could have got Suri. She could have.
I would have called Suri. She's like, hey, girl, you know I'm grieving. Could you, rebuild my nigga? Something.
Build a nigga instead of build a bear.
Build a nigga. Don't need no build a bear, build a nigga, man.
We never know what might happen though. Maybe
she got the schematics for it. She was working on it in Infinity War.
Yeah, that was the one she was working on, wasn't it?
Look,
was the one
I'm throwing this out here.
No, but it's true.
It's
that's
there.
The diamond. She's trying to remove it safely. So maybe Scarlet got those blueprints. Got a quick little email.
Who did Captain America return that stone to when he went back in time?
Like
right before he dies, like, here you go, player. And then he's like, how did that work?
He's trying to get his dick wet. He don't know. He's like, I am out of here.
He's probably dancing with Peggy. And he's like, oh shit, I still got this stone in my pocket.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That stone that could be the one that she just put in his head. But I honestly think it's the real thing that's happening is her in a small space doing it for real while putting this whole facade out there for them to maybe see, or if somebody has powers to see, to mess with her head to make her feel more happy. You know what I mean?
But what's with the whole thing with the twins and things? Like, I feel like I
think people have gotten when you use like when people do that type of stuff in stories, like you attract, like if you're a negative person, you attract negative people. So I think she attracted these other people who have those types of powers, like the Doctor Strange in the universe of powers, and they're like, oh shit, man, we could get lit in here. We could actually give birth in here. Let's have babies for the babies. It's like, oh shit, it works. Oh, bring back
that black guy.
You can do that too.
Like,
you know what I mean? And like, oh, bring it back.
It's my, what is it? Not Herbert, but
is it Herbert? Is his name? The black guy?
Yeah.
Herbert.
It seems like he knows what's going on, but he don't know.
He knows.
Yeah,
he definitely knows, because he was talking about. He's like, is Geraldine in the house? He's like,
is what?
Geraldine, like, man, that name.
Is Geraldine in the house?
That's such an old black roots name. It's
well, you know, Geraldine, she's not from here. That's enough, Herbert. Look, you set it up today. It's like,
you want me to start this over again?
Right. I was like, Herbert they about to kill this black man. He's gonna tell all the business.
So they made sure to mention that Wanda can't bring people back from the dead because Agnes killed that dog for no reason. She's like, that dog ate some poison.
Yeah, ate
wink,
some
wink.
flowers.
I was like, nah, you killed that damn dog.
He got He got in my flowers.
They're probably like, why is his neck snap?
Azaleas.
Them flowers wild.
Ate my azaleas before I could do anything.
Yeah.
That dog was dead. Like, it would have took a while for that dog to die. Like, she murdered that dog.
It was terrible. It's very interesting though, because like Casey was talking about with Wanda, you're like, when you get to the end of episode 5 and they're watching her and Pietro shows up, they're like, oh shit, she recasted Pietro. And so like, even just how Wanda is, as Vision is, by that time Vision's catching on to what the hell is going on. He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you didn't peep game on how Agnes, you really gonna tell me that I'm not noticing these things? Come on now, don't blame me. So like, by the time you get to episode 5 and 6, like Vision's like, okay, fuck what Wanda's got going on. I gotta go find out the truth for myself, because he's starting to ask about kids being in the neighborhood and all this stuff. And it just gets really interesting.
And then in episode 6, she brings like every kid out of hypnotism and
Right.
like it's more kids than parents in episode 6.
So,
you know what I mean? So
one question I want to ask y'all. So they hint at the Grim Reaper. He's a Marvel villain that brings people back from the dead, and they show like his helmet during the intro for episode 2. So I'm just like, is he Herbert or the Mailman? I'm thinking one of them is Grim Reaper.
The Mailman is somebody I've been watching the
Mailman's
whole
like,
damn time.
Yeah.
Because he always drops those one-liners. He's like, I just want to put you on notice that I noticed, but I'm not going to say exactly what I noticed. All right, till next episode. Yeah.
Dottie's another one I worry about. The blonde from episode 2.
Yeah.
Her nose is bleeding and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
So I'm utterly confused. I'm just writing. I'm just throwing shit on the wall and just see what sticks at this point.
So episode 5 was what exactly? You got to remind me what happened in that episode.
Is that the one the newest one or the one before that one?
Episode 6 is the very most recent episode where they do the Halloween.
Malcolm in the Middle.
So 5 was the argument and then her brother's like, I'm here, everybody, Pedro.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 5, Wanda was showing her abusiveness in that movie.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Holy, she was ready to beat Vision's ass. He just wanted some answers. She flew in the air and everything with her powers. I was like, yo, she good. What are you
It was
doing?
like, just when Vision's starting to make sense, Wanda's starting to whip his dude's ass.
You want to whip his ass.
Like,
That's why they call her Cosmic Karen, man. She's violent, man.
Man just wants an answer. He
asked me, he was like, why are there no kids in it? You really think that I'm controlling other kids? I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
She floats in the air.
Yo, when he said Bacchanal, I wanted to clap. I was just like,
yeah.
thank you, Fushi.
Yeah, in episode 6.
I want to edit the word podcast at the end. Bacchanal podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. I was watching that. I was doing cardio, walking. I'm like, there seems to be a Bacchanal happening out. I was like, what the?
I was like, where the hell are KC and Akil's royalties?
What the hell happened here? The word is in the zeitgeist. It's out there.
Out there.
Thank you. Feeling it, the energy.
Yeah, no, that was cool. It's cool that he doesn't know that he was an Avenger, but yet he still feels the pull to be a hero, the pull to see what's going on and to investigate things, like with the dads in the neighborhood watch, all the things that the investigativeness that at work, he's always trying to figure out what the problem is. It's cool that that's in his like core to be a hero, and he's like truly worthy to hold the hammer. You know what I mean? Like you're seeing the elements of what makes him a worthy person, even though he doesn't remember his past from the past movies that we've seen of him, which is sad, but it's like kind of cool that he's still a stand-up person robot, you know. So
absolutely,
it's dope what they're doing with his character.
Feel bad for the guy. He was just reaching out, man. I like that he snuck off and like he told Wanda like, no, I'm gonna like do my own thing, because he knows she crazy. He didn't want her having no parts of it. I do like the two kids. I like Wicked and Speed.
Yeah.
I think they're cool.
I can see them having their own show in the future on Disney Plus, man. Honestly,
I did not like the Malcolm in the Middle, man. I was like, all the dope shows in the 90s.
I get it, but no.
Whack ass Malcolm in the Middle. The only thing good about that show was Bryan Cranston.
That show was great. If Brian pulled up in this episode,
Brian pulled up in this episode. I was like, Full House, Family Matters, Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
The whole TGIF lineup.
Yeah, the whole hey, anything. They could have did
step by step
to bring the teenage witch, something, man.
They could have brought Bundy in there, man. They own Fox.
They could have did Homeboys in Outer Space, man. Anything.
They could have did Married with Children, like R.H. Noreen was saying. They do own Fox, so they could have did that. But no. I liked Malcolm in the Middle growing up, so when I saw this, I was like, "Oh shit, this is kind of dope." And I like the way that they use the camera angles in a cool way. It's like a double lens that they do, where they drop a little lens on the top.
Yeah.
So it looks closer. One half looks closer. One half you could see the real what it's supposed to look like when Quicksilver was sleeping on the couch. So they did a lot of cool shots, like what Malcolm in the Middle used to do, because Malcolm in the Middle used to experiment a lot with different types of shots and different angles and stuff. So they actually implemented that in this episode, which I appreciate seeing.
The only thing I liked about Malcolm in the Middle was that kid with the asthma. Taking about 20 minutes and just say
with the wheelchair. Yeah. Great, man. I gotta go back and watch that, man. That show was great. Underrated, underappreciated, clearly show. That show was great.
Punky Brewster, something, man.
Punky Brewster.
Hang with Mr. Cooper. Living Singles, man. They could have did Living Singles.
The Jamie Foxx show? What do you want?
Jamie Foxx show.
The Wayans brothers?
The Wayans.
Yeah, Wayans brothers.
Come on, man.
Martin. Could have went to Detroit real quick.
Fresh Prince.
Nah, they weren't ready for no Martin, man. They could have did Fresh Prince.
Hey, but they got to do something that's parallel with the actual storyline they're saying. That's the problem. They have to do something with kids and parents and household.
They could have did Married with Children.
Mr. Cooper, hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Friends.
Nah, not no Friends, nah, son. Black History Month. Don't you dare say that.
That's right. You gotta give it up.
All right, y'all want to move on with the movie review, or you got anything else with WandaVision?
That's cool.
That's it. All right, so the movie we're going to be reviewing this week is Judas and the Black Messiah, directed by Shaka King. Not Ryan Coogler, like some people think. It's not
Shaka
Ryan
King.
Coogler.
Shaka King.
Shaka King directed this film. All-star cast, just like the little things, but this movie's actually good. Shots fired, Casey. Pow!
I wasn't listening. I was typing.
I said like the movie Little Things, but this movie's actually good.
Oh,
All-star cast.
Y'all got to knock something to bring something else up.
No, you don't.
Geez,
I'm just saying.
Can't we just have things, man? Can't we have things?
Similar films, but one, Hi-Yow. The other film, meh. So I'm going to drop the trailer here for those listening.
Hey.
All right, so that was the trailer.
So let's do a 5-minute non-spoiler, and then we'll get into the full spoiler talk after.
And before we get into like the talk of the movie, that soundtrack's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's
pretty smooth listen.
It's a cool thing about the soundtrack is that it gives you an aspect of different artists that are contemporary now and that we respected from the past. So if you like an artist, it's like, yo, who the hell is this guy? And go check them out, because there's like from 11 to I think 22, there's a bunch of artists that I don't remember who they are, know who they are. So I was like, oh, let me check this guy out, see who he is off the songs that I liked. It had a couple standout songs like EPMD and obviously the Nipsey Hussle and Jay-Z song, which gets a lot of props, but there was a lot of issues with Fred Hampton's son, Fred Hampton Jr. and Jay-Z, because he had a song on Watch the Throne where Jay-Z said, I was born on the day Fred Hampton died. It's but that's not what happened. Fred Hampton was assassinated. So his son was like, yo, Slave Z, all this type of stuff. It created a big problem. So Jay-Z in this verse, he came back and he said, like, I was born on the day when Fred Hampton's assassinated. Like, so he tried to kind of fix it in this way, but still it was more about Jay-Z than it was about Fred Hampton. So it was still problematic verse, but it was a great verse at the same time. So, but we just got to realize that and be aware of that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people were talking about that online, saying that Jay-Z is the Judas. Alonzo, you want to chime in on that?
Oh, for real, eh?
Hey, Alonzo, did you tweet?
I just heard the verse and I was like, yo, this sounds like one of Jay-Z's old verses. And I went back and listened to Watch the Throne. I was like, there it is. That's the one, you know? So I was like,
so so Akil, like when it dropped, KC, Akil, and I, we were talking about the soundtrack and how obviously some people looking at where Jay-Z is now as a man and as a brand, they're like, he's someone who is a polar opposite of what Fred was for, because Fred was not for Black capitalism. He was about socialism, whereas Jay-Z is now moved in, like epitomizes Black capitalism on a lot of levels. And so when we were looking at the track with Nipsey and Jay-Z, I was like, the unintentional slippery slope with that, or irony of that, is a lot of people could see Nipsey looking at his life legacy contextualized as a rising star who was bringing Wakanda to Crenshaw. He's somebody that people could see as a Black messiah that was gunned down, whereas Jay-Z now is looked at in a lot of circles as a Judas, and like that's that unintentional juxtaposition of that track. But I was like, you know,
I don't see that though. I don't see Jay-Z as a Judas.
I was like, it's some people that are like, as you said, like even though you look at Fred Jr., who's like, nah, I don't rock with him. And there's some other people in the community that say, nah, I don't rock with Jay-Z from everything else he's done with the NFL and other things, versus some people are like, no, I don't see Jay-Z as Judas. They might refer back to his bars where he's like, I can't help the poor if I'm one of them. So I give the money, I make the money off the capitalism, give it back, and that's the win-win. So like, there's always that dichotomy that's inevitably going to be a part of his legacy as well.
Yeah, because Judas is a pretty strong thing to say. You know, that's just not, you can't just say that to get a metaphor off. You know what I mean? Just to connect the dot. That's a pretty insultive, pretty strong.
It's the uncomfortable truth for a lot of people's perspective, you know? And it's like Judas, as we'll talk about even in the film, is not just a person, but it's an ideology, it's an attitude, it's a way that you perceive things and how you play that role, you know?
Let me give a shout out to Blerd Up. They posted, as good as the album is, can we talk about Fred Hampton when like half the songs on the soundtrack dedicated to him, as it promotes Black capitalism, which he was against. So, and then like some of the artists that are on there, you're just like, meh.
It's a complex thing, man, because
it's the way Akil says.
But it's such a complex thing because, like, what do you want to do? You don't want to own the property, but you want to. How you gonna ever get to have anything? You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta. How you ever gonna, if you don't even know how to do the contracts to employ people? Like, how you gonna? You gotta have a balance of it. You gotta have both. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately.
And see, it reminds me of Sam Cooke.
And saying Judas is a very, very insultively strong thing to say.
Man,
what comes with that is like,
it is what it is.
That's like you have nothing, you're nothing, and you just want to pull down something on the rise. That's what Judas is, a kind of, you know what I mean? So that's not what he is. That's not.
Let me chime in real quick, because this reminds me of that statement that Sam Cooke made in that movie One Night in Miami.
Yeah,
where he says, instead of getting a piece of the pie, give me the recipe.
Yep.
Would that be seen as capitalism?
Yes. And what's wrong with capitalism?
Inevitably, when you are in a position, like you said, if you're saying, okay, how do I study, even if I'm studying my enemy, to then financially gain or some level of benefit from that, by definition, that is to capitalize, right?
Exactly.
And so like Casey is saying, even if you're contextualizing capitalism, the bigger question becomes at whose expense?
Exactly. That's where it gets wrong. And when they don't get the proper information of what they're getting into with the person who's capitalizing on the situation, that's where it's problematic. But when you are creating something and trying to build and own, it's an unnecessary thing that in this industrial complex that we're in, you have to do. It's like saying, oh no, you can't. No, don't learn how to use weapons. It's like, no, but there's weapons.
But that's very Fred Hampton, though.
Use it, but you don't need to be.
It is very Fred Hampton.
Be aware that it's around.
Like, yo, let's go kill these people, and then they'll show up. Fred, I got the guns. No, let's not use violence. But you just told us to kill them, Fred.
Fred said
that is a problem he was having in the movie.
Fred said, listen, we ain't gonna go and kill 5 so we can lose 100.
Exactly.
So it's like Casey said, I love these conversations because, again, people love to repeat the quotes or adages. Black people are not a monolith, or we're not monolithic.
Yep.
And so then what happens when you have Black people who display their own version of progressing the Black community that doesn't mess with what you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, okay, is that a principal issue or a personal issue? Is like Casey's talking about, when we talk about Black capitalism, okay, not only at whose expense, because you could be that person who's investing in whatever stocks and say, okay, this is how I'm trying to build wealth so I can become debt free and give back via scholarships. So it's well intentioned, right? And then it's like, okay, the money or stocks you're investing in, they profit off of Black labor, or they profit off of slave labor. So it's like, again, at whose expense, to what extreme, where is the line and goalpost being moved, and that's hella nuance, right?
Yes.
There's a deep ass rabbit hole we can all go down, but I think we all agree on, with whether we look at the movie, whether we look at the soundtrack, if we're going to talk about honoring Fred Hampton and his legacy, we definitely want to make sure we're doing that in a way where we're not trying to revise history or try to create a narrative that still positions us at the forefront more than what Fred actually died for, what he literally died for.
All right, let's jump into the movie now, folks. We done dissected this movie, the whole soundtrack.
Yeah, y'all bringing that heat.
Yeah, but before all that, what did you guys review the soundtrack? Because I thought it was all right. It was cool. Like,
I just wanted to talk about. So the movie starring Daniel Kaluuya as Fred Hampton, which was an issue because they're like, why can't we get African American actors that actually look
8 out of 10
like Fred Hampton?
Oh, okay, cool.
On the soundtrack.
Because I was saying before we conclude all of that soundtrack part, what did you think of the soundtrack? Like, it
was like a solid 6.5.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Damn, Akil!
A monster. It is. Because I'm being real. I'm like, a month from now,
be real.
I'm not gonna be listening to this again.
It
was cool. It was cool.
A month from now, I'm gonna be listening to the Jay-Z song and the 3 other songs I like, and skipping the rest of the album.
I'm gonna give it 7.5. Then.
Yeah, I give it 7.5.
I like Appraise.
It's good.
Appraise is my shit.
Appraise, I'm gonna check that out.
I like that one. I like the song. The song with her is like, it's.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. I don't know if I'll be listening to it later in the future.
You're not gonna be listening to it next month.
It was cool.
Do y'all feel
very good song?
Y'all feel J. Cole, Ari Lennox, and Kendrick got snubs?
Yes.
Yeah, they should have been on this.
Schoolboy Q, somebody from like, from the Compton area, the represent. They're like, nah, give us Jay-Z from New York.
Did it have a lot of Chicago? Did it have a lot of Chicago artists on it? I gotta look it up and see, but we'll get into that more after.
Yeah, because when I think of Black Panthers, I think of Chicago and I think of Compton.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I was like, you gotta have people
like
who represent like
what's going on with it.
Basic foundation of the Black Panther Party.
They're like, nah, let's bring it to Marcy Projects. What?
They put in ASAP in there. Nah,
ASAP ain't about that life, man. He was just in Black Lives Don't Matter.
They put New York all in this shit.
They might as well put Lil Wayne on the track. I just finished taking the picture with Donald Trump, baby.
Take a picture with Donald Trump.
Weezy on the track. Everybody trying to hear that.
Yeah, wait.
Sorry.
Cool. Fred Hampton would have rose from his grave and whipped his ass, man.
Yeah,
so let's talk about the cast. We got Daniel Kaluuya, Lakeith Stanfield. I feel kind of mixed about him in this film. I feel like he was just Lakeith Stanfield at times. Jesse Plemons killed it. He was a fat, greasy FBI agent, and every scene he was in, I believed it.
So damn good.
Bastard.
He was good.
Who else we got in the cast?
Dominique Fishback. Who played Fred's wife.
Yeah, Fishback. Yeah, just
her name is Fishback, and the whole time I was looking at her, she looked like a woman in church at like a fish fry. Like she would be there, like Sister Patterson.
I hate you.
With the fish. And her name is Fishback. Fun fact, she was the little girl in that movie with Jamie Foxx where they had the powers, and she was 14.
Yeah.
Even though she was 29.
Yes, she was.
She looked old as hell. Talking about, I'm trying to be a rapper. I'm like, you need to give up on that dream. You old as hell.
Yeah.
She looked like she got held back a couple times in that movie.
She having one hell of a year with these films so far.
How you go from 14 to a grown-ass woman, though, in the next movie?
I mean, Gabrielle Union was doing that, but she was doing it in a different context.
Well, no, man. You know what? If you really want to break down the casting, they kind of messed up the whole casting with the dude that they put as the main guy, because like Fred is 16, 17 when this movie starts. He dies at 21 years
21.
old. Yeah. So like she's actually accurate with the story of the casting of being younger, but like this movie would have been so much crazier if they're actually showing them where they're at as these are kids, man. Like he died
teenagers.
Yeah, he died and he was a kid when he did all this. So like it's insane. And that's the one issue I had with the movie. It could have been articulated better if it was like an actual cast of kids where they're 16.
They should have got that boy students. From when they see us, the one who's always crying with the snot bubbles.
What?
That boy. From When They See Us, that little boy that be crying with the snot bubbles. He looked young and old at the same time.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm gonna look his name up while you talk though.
You cut me off. I forgot my thought.
My bad. I'm sorry. Continue, sir.
No, you KC, you were talking about how it would have felt a little bit more authentic had they had actual teenagers portraying those roles as opposed to people we know are full-grown adults portraying teenagers.
Yeah, that's it. Because they were probably like finishing university age, you know what I mean, to 16, and they were feeding kids that were from 8, 7, 3, you know what I mean? So you could see that generational thrust hole going. Yeah. And the fact that it's FBI, USA, the state versus these poor people, man. Like, come on. You know how crazy that is? Imagine people older than us right now trying to mess up what's going on with these kids in these areas. Like that alone in the story was like so insane. But they didn't put that out there like so hard. They did such an amazing job of making him look like a well-articulated superhero for real. You know what I mean? So like watching it was like, oh, okay, he's a man. He's a grown man, and these actors are killing it. The cast did an amazing job, and this put them at that. You know how we think Denzel Washington is the main, like one of the best actors. This put them at a level where they're the contemporary primetime actors of our time right now. Like they put the stamp now. You know what I mean? Even Zendaya and John Washington with the film that they did in the black and white, they put themselves that they could hold the long monologues. That's what they did in this also.
Heard different things about that film, man.
I'm just saying what I think. I'm not saying what I heard. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying,
I ain't trying to watch that.
But
I haven't seen it, so I'll defer.
But the monologues that they say in there are long and have depth, even though it's not things that people are comfortable being in or talking about or hearing. But that's another movie. But with this one, they pulled it off. They showed that they could actually carry these films. These are guys who I still view as, you know, new actors from Atlanta or from being a part actor and, you know, in Wakanda, just being, you know, smaller roles, but they're actually carrying this whole film. Man, they're doing an amazing job actually carrying this whole film. So I applaud the cast on this, even though I think it would have been more impactful if it was actual parallel with the actual age that they were, because it would have hurt us and hit us a lot harder.
The piggyback on what Casey was saying, the actor I was suggesting was Jarrell Jerome, who was in When They See Us, and he played Corey Wise, because he's young and he looks old and he kind of looks like Fred Hampton. He was a girl that facial hair out.
Let me look him up.
I thought that he would have been able to kill the role. He's younger, he's talented.
God, that role in When They See Us.
There you go. Yeah,
he had the boogers and everything like Viola Davis.
Yeah, and that they were like more closer to the age, so it hit people. Like it was like, yo, what the hell? Like these are little kids.
Yeah, he's in his early 20s. I thought that would have been good casting, but I guess they wanted to go with the name. Like he was fresh off the heels of I think he was doing reshoots for Black Panther, where when they pulled him aside and they're like, hey, you want to do this Fred Hampton movie? And that brings the other issue where people are like, how come they couldn't just get an African American actor? They could have got a young African American actor. So they got a British actor who had to change his complete persona. He had to start smoking cigarettes just to change his voice.
That's acting, baby.
That's method acting, man.
How do we know they didn't do a casting call and they were like, yo, these guys are not doing it. We need somebody proper. Yeah, how do we know they didn't do that? Let's not knock them yet. Like we don't know what they did to get the right person.
Well, I mean, I see those type of conversations like these are the fruits of Idris Elba, right? Because you look at how Idris opened up a floodgate or opened a lane for non-traditional Black actors to be able to have opportunities. So, you know, it's not just American-born actors, whether we look at Daniel, whether we look at the kid who plays Spencer James on All American, whether we want to look at Lupita, like, again, this is one of those instances where it's so easy for people to say, oh, Blackness is not a monolith, or we're not monolithic. But then when you have people who still are part of that African diaspora, still part of the Black identity, and they're not American born, are you going to treat them any differently? Are you going to feel some type of way because they do land a certain role that you would like? The kid who plays Spencer James on All American, he's a British actor, but he's got on the show, he's got a decent Crenshaw accent. So like, you know, when you look at a film like this, it's like Casey said, I think Casey brings up a good point in terms of looking at how would this film hit differently for the youth of today who have no backdrop of Fred Hampton. Because there are adults who are still trying to process, damn, Fred Hampton was 21 when he was killed.
Exactly.
There are adults who are processing that. There are adults who have grown up in a generation where they had a whitewashed MLK, they villainized Malcolm, and they weren't taught about Fred because Fred comes after Martin and Malcolm are assassinated, and after the Panthers are shifting because Eldridge Cleaver has left. And they gave, like, in the film, they gave these little snippets of that, but like, if you have no backdrop, you'll miss that point in the film. So I think Casey brings up a good point in saying, like, not just in terms of American representation, but more so like generational representation, where kids who this is their first introduction to Fred Hampton, they're like, oh shit, dude was my age. Like, I'm in high school and he was my age when he came to the Panthers. He was my age doing a bid with a son, didn't know he had a son while he was doing a bid. And, you know, even myself, like, I'm like, shit, I was 33, but when I was 21, my ass was just coming to my senior year at Winston. Like, I was aware of police presence and hyper visibility and all that shit, but I wasn't literally on the FBI most wanted list. And I'm not exactly sure how I would have handled that at 20, being at college, or 21.
He passed away at 21. He went to jail at 17.
Right. Right.
That's what's crazy. At 17, if I had a kid, people I knew who had a kid at 17, that alone was like, this guy was a leader of a political party called the Black Panthers at 17. You put it like it's not being properly.
And here's why Casey
in the movie.
Here's why Casey's point is so salient, because like Casey said, when you contextualize, this is something that actually happened, number one. But then, like Casey said, this is something you contextualize and you say, okay, as a teenager, people talk about doing gangster shit all the time. And everybody wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster shit. But as a teenager, he was going to the different leaders in the community. So you see, he's talking to the bosses, and a lot of these bosses are older than him. So
he was going to Crown.
So like
in Chicago. I'm not even gonna go to Southside Chicago. He was going to Crown.
so like Casey said, imagine what happens when you have a portrayal of an actual 17-year-old, say it is Jerome, right? Say it is Jerome, who's portraying a 17-year-old talking to a grown-ass man at his headquarters. Like that shit hits differently. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I definitely agree with what Casey is saying. Like,
he put together the Rainbow Coalition.
Yeah, and the Rainbow
at 16
Coalition.
Years old.
Like, you're talking about the Latinos and different whites and blacks, and like
everybody. He did what presidents can't do right now.
So that's
16 years old.
Like Casey is saying, that's why he was perceived as a messiah, because when you're talking about a kid bringing together grown ass people, grown ass factions who couldn't get along before he was born, but a kid. And he doesn't just bring them together, but he does it in such a quick, short amount of time. Yeah. The FBI says, okay, we've got to attack this teenager multiple ways on all levels, and we got to do it with one of their own. That's the only way we can get to this kid.
And that's even sad too, because that guy was only 16, you know what I mean? He was 15, 16 years old stealing cars, and they used the type of strategy that you would think they would use to like a 30-year-old who's already in the bid a couple times and this is last chance.
Yeah.
You know, like this is a 15-year-old kid who's just getting hype off taking people's cars and acting like a cop, you know, with a stupid little badge. Like, imagine a little kid just coming in like, yeah, I'm trying to sell candies, $20. Like, oh, get out of here. I'll give you 20. I'll give you 5 for it. You know, he's trying to do a little hustle. That's what this kid was doing.
And Casey, the add on that, like that to me, like even though the scene was shot well, and you don't get that whole feeling that it's a kid because you got these grown ass actors.
Facts.
Like
That's
Pete
what I'm
Stanfield.
saying.
Like I
That's
didn't
why-
like when they said, "Oh, it's just a kid." When he tried to rob, he's like, "You ain't no damn FBI agent. You a kid."
But it didn't go through.
It doesn't go through because you
It
see
didn't penetrate.
grown ass like
It doesn't
Stanfield's
hit the
face.
same way.
Exactly.
It
That's why
doesn't hit the same way.
Black Messiah, like that term, when I read that, I was like, oh, they're just throwing black on it. Like, what are they doing? Like, watching the movie, I was like, okay, it's good. It's really a good movie, but it didn't penetrate the way that those two words didn't hit because of the age differentials. But yeah, I don't want to keep on this too long, but that's just one thing that we need to really
Yeah, it hinders
put to the
film for me
forefront
as
with
well.
this film, because it's amazing what this guy did, and this does do a great introduction to the Black Panther Party for people who aren't aware of it, to properly articulate what they were striving for and trying to do. So people who who always seen this as like a stupid little gang of kids who are just trying to do some dumb shit, and from Compton to Chicago and a little bit of New York and all over the states, little bubbles and pockets. This is something stupid. What they were trying to do was actually very good, and was trying to feed the youth, protect people from being able to come into the communities, protect cops from coming in and touching kids, and kidnappings from happening, stop all that stuff. They were policing the hood for real. So, and educating, using education as a weapon. So
Okay, so let me
they
interject
did a
here.
good
'Cause what they tried to
introduction
do in America
to the Black Panthers. Sorry, go ahead.
let me jump in
Facts.
here. What they tried to do is compare the Black Panthers to the KKK. They're always doing it.
Yeah, try to
Oh,
build
no,
a
that
nice-
was great.
And that's
Try
a
to
false
villainize it.
equivalency. And this
But I
movie
loved-
shows you.
I love that
that's
they
a
did that in this
complete
movie.
false equivalency.
I love that they put that in this movie, the way he said it's a two sides of the coin, you know, like they're just saying this and doing these murders and stuff like that. You don't even know. Like, I love that they put that argument in the movie so that you would see it. And Stanfield's character was like, is it two sides of the coin? Like, damn, this ain't no two sides of the coin, man. You know what I mean? Like you see that it's not no Ku Klux Klan black superiority type of thing. It's everybody just having an equal opportunity and to not be taken advantage of, and to have a respectable life in this
Yeah.
experience.
Like today's WIC program that was started from the Black Panther
Right.
Party.
Absolutely.
When you go to Stanford University and their archives, and they have it online as well, they have multiple, we're talking about almost 90 programs that the Black Panther Party had created, where the government either flat out copied or like it served as a precursor to government funded programs. So like you guys were talking about, especially with the narrative about villainizing the Black Panther Party,
Mhm.
it brought me back to when I was in high school as
And
a ninth
trivializing.
grader.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
To trivialize.
in ninth grade, we had a art class, and like the project was to do a picture of good and evil. And so my picture of good and evil on one, it was like the Mortal Kombat face-off screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like KKK on the left side and the Black Panther Party, Black Panther on the right side with the fists up. And my white art teacher is like, I'm not sure if this is a picture of good and evil. I think this is something that both can be quite problematic. I was like, this is me at 14.
Yeah.
And I'm like, until you can find a white person who's been lynched by a Black Panther, or has had a Black Panther fist and emboldened and blazing their hip,
Mhm.
please, don't tell me that this is a matter of the lesser of two evils. It's not. And like you said, even when you see the film, it talks about, okay, you've got these teenagers who are feeding kids, and they're doing this, like, they're not doing it with government funding. Again, that is a threat. Like, the government's like, shit, These people have got their money together. They're not outnumbered. They were like, Malcolm X had a quote before he was killed. It was like, we're not outnumbered, we're out-organized.
Yeah, exactly.
And so here, post-Malcolm, post-Martin, like, you see the new foundation of what can happen for the Black community when they actually are organized and they allow Blackness to bring them together and say, okay, you have thousands of people. Like in the movie, they talk about the 3,000 kids they're feeding on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And so like, whoa, you're doing that without government funding? And you're not, like Fred, this is why we go back again to the capitalism versus socialism, whatever approach. But like, Fred wasn't going out here knocking off people to say, okay, I had to sell rock to feed the kids breakfast. Fred won't doing that. So I think that's, like Casey was saying, that's the other part about how Hampton's story is so powerful as a Black superhero, because here you have this teenager who is literally feeding the block without selling smack on the block.
Exactly.
Like, and kids today who will be the same age as Fred need to see that, need to have that contextualized, and need to have that story told in an authentic way that they can relate to it and say, oh shit, somebody my age actually did that. Somebody my age actually showed there's a way for me to hustle and take care of my family and take care of my community without selling or without becoming like the Franklin of Snowfall, you know, like there's a way for me to actually feed my family without feeding them crack. Some powerful shit.
Any performances stand out to you? Because I felt like Lakeith Stanfield just did his standard Lakeith Stanfield. Except at the end where they showed you him older and they're doing the interview, I felt like he was really like portraying that character well. But other than that, I just saw Lakeith Stanfield. Daniel Kaluuya I thought did great as Fred Hampton.
Let's get to Lakeith. I think he did a great job, especially when he was in the documented part where he was acting like the guy who he was the Bill. He was acting like
those
Will.
parts were good. That's what I was just saying.
His mannerisms were just like that in the whole movie. Like he didn't seem like Lakeith to me. He obviously he's more of a face actor, so you know, but he's showed that he is capable of doing more roles that are serious, you know, so, and not just being a part of it. Like, so I could see him being a lead now in a movie, holding down something and doing a role like this. I saw an interview with him and he said he had to do therapy after this. So like he really put a lot of work, a lot of training, a lot of investigation on this character and to find out and get the real out of him to show it on the screen. So I applaud him on this, man. I think he did a great job, because when I was supposed to be upset with him, I was getting pissed. When I was supposed to be like, don't do that, don't draw that. You know, I was like, he was making the emotions come out. He was making the emotions come out. So that's what an actor does. He did his job. I applaud him.
I think like you guys have talked about before, like having the backdrop before the movie definitely helps, because as someone who's watched the interviews with the real life William O'Neill,
I didn't have the backdrops
prior. Like I was like, fuck William O'Neill, and even now I'm still like, fuck William O'Neill. I'm glad he's dead. I don't need to ever come near vicinity of the cemetery. God. Like, but like Lakeith, I could see the way the script was written, how Lakeith's character and his portrayal, there was an attempt to highlight or like try to humanize William O'Neill, and like Casey was saying, like I could see the attempt of, okay, Lakeith in this particular scene where he's getting mad or he's getting frustrated with FBI, he's trying to humanize William O'Neill and saying, okay, at some point now he's so deep into his involvement with the Black Panther Party, he's got so close to Fred that he sees Fred as actually legit. The Black Panther Party is not what the FBI has villainized them to be, trivialized them to be. And so like now you have this character with portrayed by Lakeith that says, okay, damn, I want out. Like, I don't want no parts of this. Like, y'all just now, oh, there's another agent? Oh shit. And what do you think you're gonna do to me? You know, so like I could see those attempts being made.
Yeah.
To humanize William O'Neill. And I think, again, for me, just having the the background of the real life William O'Neill, I was like, I don't care. 'Cause I don't like William O'Neill.
Yeah. I feel
You
you.
don't need to humanize him. Like to me, I was like, don't humanize him. Because it's like Casey said, when we talk about a Judas and the connotation that carries, for me, I was like, don't humanize the Judas. You can highlight, which they did, what caused him to become a Judas, which was, you know, he gets in this position of you're gonna have to do X amount of years, or you can go home if you do this. We see why that is the motive, how he becomes Judas. But I'm like, no, you ain't gotta humanize Judas.
He's 6'9", man.
Like,
Takashi 6'9" of his era.
like,
Now
you
that's
do
where
not
I
have
had
to humanize Judas.
that's where I had a bit of issue with the screenplay of the story, because I was like, where are they getting this from? And I'm like, damn, are they getting it from Will?
Right.
Oh man, he ain't no factual guy. You saw how he hustled those people out there thinking he's the with the car situation. Remember that scene?
Right.
He's not a good guy. He's not a pillar to stand on for the story. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, this screen, I don't know about this story right now. But
I don't think he died from suicide. He might be hiding somewhere right now watching.
I
this movie.
mean, I was like, yeah, like the attempt to humanize, and I was like, we don't have to
that's
humanize
coming out
the
of his
villain.
mouth. You know what I mean? Like that's coming out of his mouth for the story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all want to give a quick rating and then we jump into spoilers because we're so deep in there. Right now.
Yeah. Let's
Hey,
spoilers.
go ahead.
I'm giving it a 9.5. I thought it was damn near perfect, minus some of the casting with age. That was it. I just felt like it'd been more impactful if they had younger actors, but other than that, damn near perfect film.
Alonzo, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I give it a first watch. I give it a 9.25. Like you all said, I think either 9.25 or 9.5 is fine in terms of, like, again, casting, aging, just contextualizing the story. Again, if I think about those different nuggets and Easter eggs that get lost, where you're like, they gloss over Bobby Seale, they gloss over, you know, the different Panthers that are mentioned when Hoover is bragging and about dismantling the party. And so, like, again, when you don't have that backdrop, you're just like, wait, what? Why is he gagged in the courtroom? Or who was that guy shot? Bobby Hutton. And you're like, Bobby Seale. You're like, you know. So I think overall, I could see it was still well done. Kudos to Shaka King. Kudos to Coobs and everyone that worked on the production.
Yeah, I highly love this movie. I think personally, this is one of the best movies we've gotten in a very long time.
Yeah,
I applaud HBO Max for putting this out. Google for putting it on rental for $24.99. It's expensive, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. The cast, they killed it. I give this a 9.5 also, but there were problems that it had that, you know, would have caused issues with pacing of the story. Like if we got that, like I want the Rainbow Coalition, I want that to have a movie so we can see more of that.
Now if you do, now that's some good shit, Gacy, because if you're talking about like the Rainbow Coalition, I wonder how deep they would go with Fred and Jesse's backstory and origin story, because back in the day when Fred was having the juice with speeches, word on the block and word throughout the civil rights movement was that he and Jesse had a, you know, friendly competition. But ultimately, like, after Hampton was killed with the whole Rainbow Push Coalition, we know that Jesse co-opted that and ended up becoming his own, like, Operation Push. And like Jesse Jackson, who has a less than glamorous track record among civil rights leaders, looking at how he treated King, looking at how he ruffled with Martin and Malcolm and a lot of other guys, like, Jesse has a tie to that as well. So that would be interesting to see how deep would they push the threshold and saying Jesse Jackson won't shit, or like looking at like, or like,
I think it's time. I think it's time.
Because even if we're looking at guys like William O'Neill being an informant, we could go like, how does that rabbit hole go if you go of Al Sharpton being an informant as well? Like,
I think it's time we get those stories.
So many nuances that you could go with there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I rate this movie highly. This is a must watch. Honestly, in my opinion, this is a must watch movie of this generation, of this time right now. 9.5 out of 10. It's just the ageism, man. That they were too, But I know they got to get the contemporary main guys right now, and they've proven that they can handle it because they knocked what they had to do out of the park. But yeah, 9.5. So.
You remind me of that meme where it's like, "Hello, fellow young people." A grown half, like 60-year-old man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel watching this film, man.
Akil, you were about to say something about the spoilers.
Yeah, let's get into spoilers, man.
The actress that's playing Ironheart, there's a scene where her and Bill O'Neill are in the car, and she whips out that gun. I was like, shoot his ass.
Hell yeah.
I was like, shoot his ass, Ironheart.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a necessary scene because I'm like, okay, typically the way these organizations work, they worked on a referral or like somebody vouched for you, right? So you didn't just like walk up off the street and nobody in the community knew you, especially in this time in the Black community. Everybody knew everybody. Yeah. So I was wondering, like, when the hell is anybody going to pull this guy's car and say, who the fuck are you? Where did you come from? Like, so I'm glad that scene did happen.
Yeah, if this story was written probably, like, and it wasn't a factual thing, I think the dude from The Crown would have been like, nah, we got to look into him. Like, boss, like, we got to look into him. Like, something ain't right about him. He's hustling us out of cars. Like, who do you think else he's hustling? Like, we got to look into this guy. So that was, maybe if it was written, but maybe that was just added in this story to create some sort of tension. But you know what I mean? So yeah, that scene was definitely necessary.
I like the camera angles in the beginning of the film too. When Starting's robbing, it's like it's like the same camera angle as Killmonger when he walks into the room.
Yep.
When he walks to the throne, it starts from upside down and slowly goes right side up.
No.
And slow motion. I was like, okay, that was dope.
Not knowing the character in real life, like not knowing Will, and like seeing the way it starts like he's a real cop, and he's like, shit, I gotta go in here and bust somebody, and then it goes behind his back and it follows him. You know what I mean? That was dope. And the hat, it's like, okay, this guy's a cop trying to bust these guys. Like, he got me. He hustled me. I'm watching the movie. They're like, hey, he's just a kid. I'm like, oh shit, is he just a kid? Like, oh damn, he's really trying to steal their car. Like, it worked on me. It worked. So that was great film, like, storytelling with what they did within that scene. The way that, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm like, hell yeah, Casey, go ahead.
I was gonna jump to Hampton's character. The way they introduced him too, it was complete opposite. It wasn't like a big spectacle situation. It was a speech happening, and it was just him just sitting there with the cap just sideways, like he looked the B-boy stance before B-boy. You know what I mean? He was just cool as fuck. Like, he was just like, man, finish your quick speech, man. I'm about to kill this shit. You know, like,
question I got for y'all, for Casey and
what's up?
Lil Rel, was his character a snitch?
So he's an agent. The Lil Rel's character is an agent, and that's an interesting scene because, like, Lil Rel's character, he goes through the whole thing of like, hey, slip this in Fred's drink, when the real life William O'Neill was interviewed about drugging Fred, he was like, nah, I didn't drug Fred. You probably wouldn't have had to drug Fred because Fred was actually a heavy sleeper because he was always like, he expended so much energy in his speeches that he would fall asleep in the car like as soon as we turn around 2 blocks around from
exhausted the whole time.
Yeah, so it's like, again, it's one of those things where it's like, that's more of a Hollywood, fantasy type thing.
99 bullets though.
That's what I'm like. There's no. That's what I'm saying.
I was like, wake up, brother, wake up!
In hell, and your wife's on top of you and shit. But like, and I'm like, oh man, there's, So even with that scene, it was interesting because when he comes out and follows Lil Rel's character to the car, and he's like, yo, show me your badge. I knew it. I was like, he's gonna show the same rinky-dink ass badge from the opening scene, and there it was, the same ass bullshit badge that he showed from the opening scene. But
so I think that was to show that the police were always the FBI was always watching him, and that level of comfort to be in a bar and think that you're by yourself. nah, they're still watching you. You're not getting away.
Facts.
We need you to do something serious, and you're gonna do what we say. Like they wanted to scare him in that moment, so that's why they made dude roll up on him in the bar and be like, put drugs in his system, so when they could go bust him and be like, look, this guy's a crackhead, like, or a heroin, he's doing drugs. You can't trust him. You know, demean his character.
So the other question I have, like the people that came and shot them, did the FBI hire those people, or were they FBI agents? Just that's one thing I wasn't clear about.
In the story, the real story, I believe it was police officers who just barged in and started shooting, and they claimed that people shot back, but nobody shot back after they did the investigation. They put things in and they looked and like, oh, the bullets are coming from this side. The only reason why it's going that way is because the door is open. If you close the door, you'll see that the bullets were hitting the door so hard that it caused the door to open like that.
They literally,
the bedroom. Like Casey said, when Fred was killed, William O'Neill, gave out the blueprints to where Fred was staying. And because of the blueprints, they were able to shoot through the bedroom. So like Casey said, when they did the ballistics, it was 99 federal agent bullets to 1. Exactly, yeah.
And the one bullet, as portrayed in the movie, the one bullet is by the man who's at the door, and that's only because he was fired on. Right? It wasn't where he came out firing at the FBI. It's like, oh, they fired on us. I got one off before everybody got smoked out. And something else they did, I do like that they highlighted, was the statement at the end when Fred is ultimately killed, where they said, oh, he's still breathing, and they make this statement, he's good and dead now. So I do like that they highlighted that as well.
Yeah. One thing I didn't like in this film was that William put the whole blueprint on a little like memo pad in the restaurant.
Oh shit, this man's out the back.
You know what I mean? So like that was one thing that was inaccurate to me, because when you see the blueprints on actual news and stuff like that, it's actual, like he could have made it on AutoCAD, like the way it looks, so the lines are so perfect. But in the movie, he's just like, yeah, let me just draw this on a memo pad real quick for you, like, like I was like, what?
I was like, you're not drawing a blueprint to the apartment on the fucking napkin.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a problem. That was a little thing I was watching. I was like, what?
Serious? Like, come on now. I was like, y'all.
But it was still a phenomenal movie, man. Honestly,
man.
It's still really good. That
it was.
It didn't deter any thoughts. Yeah. Anything else you want to add in spoilers, Akil?
There was something else. I'm having a senior moment.
Oh, no problem.
Completely left my mind.
It was cool seeing the whole Chicago 7 situation with the the court case happening, and that Black Panther member also being how they tied him up, and that part was crazy, man. And that was cool. Seeing, that they actually added that in. This movie's great if you want to go back and watch things. I saw the documentary on Real Black. It's a YouTube page, and they show like all these things that I used to see when I go to New York, and you buy the tapes from the Africans, you know what I mean? You can't get them anywhere else. But these guys are uploading them on YouTube, like just Real Black. They're showing like classic Black movies. They showed the documentary. That's how I saw this after I went and watched it. I was like, oh my God, man, what the hell? So yeah.
It's real dirtiness, man.
Gotta shout them out.
Yeah, it's like you said, I think there's a lot of things that again can be done. I even, as Casey mentioned about the trial of Chicago 7, I'm gonna have to go and watch that following this one, because like Casey was saying, even when you look at people like Bobby Seale, who's somebody that's worthy of a movie, I remember Bobby coming to Winston-Salem State, but he's somebody that was worthy of the movie because he was gagged in the courtroom, and Bobby ended up running for political office, and like he has an amazing story as far as somebody who was able to survive that time without becoming an informant or without like selling out. Because a lot of the people that did come out of that era, when you look at the Al Sharptons, he was an informant, and so Sharpton navigated those waters a whole lot differently than his peers did. Even somebody like Jesse Jackson had his hands in a couple of pots. And so like you see how he navigated those waters a whole lot differently. But yeah, it's a lot of nuggets in there. Akil, did it come back to you what you were thinking?
Yeah, okay, but there's lots of nuance with the way Fred died and Breonna Taylor, man.
Yes.
I was just thinking of that. I was like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Triggering as fuck.
Yeah, man.
Because when that scene happens, you're like, okay, again, when you're a black person, it's triggering as fuck on so many levels, because you're like, number one, if I can't be safe in my own home, where can I be safe? And then number two, if I can't be safe around my own people, where can I be safe? And so like, when I look at Fred to me exemplifies the scariest shit that I live through on a weekly basis. Like, I don't know if I like, not saying I have PTSD or anything, but like even guys like Nipsey, when you look at how Nipsey went, you're like, my greatest thing I stay hyper vigilant about isn't just law enforcement, it's also people that look like me. And it's not that I have any type of cultural mistrust, but to understand that knowing how government systems work,
It'd be your own people.
They will use, if somebody's going to kill me and they're going to be a government agent, it's going to be somebody that looks like me. Yeah. And, and so like, when you look at Fred's life, you're like, fuck. Like, even with all the things that this man saw Fred doing, at no point does he say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna make the ultimate sacrifice because Fred don't deserve that shit, and he got a kid coming. His girl don't deserve that shit. Nowhere in his conscience does he say, I know I'm gonna have to do whatever bid or FBI gonna deal with me, but for the culture, yeah, and I cannot in good conscience kill this man. Like, and to understand that, like, to understand, like, that's a realistic thing that happens for prominent, influential black, right? Yeah. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to speculate. Mm-hmm. The fact that we don't have to speculate that it's a possibility, the fact that we have multiple instances throughout history that this is something that can and has happened is scary as fuck. It's triggering as fuck.
So, like, are they going to send a white man after Sean King or a black man?
I don't know who they're going to send after Malcolm X, man.
Sorry, Casey. Go ahead, Casey.
A crazy parallel in this movie that, like, gotta comprehend is that, okay, Will had like a year and 4 years or 5 years to be in jail.
Yes.
Hampton ate that exact same time.
Ate that shit.
Came out and still did amazing things. And this guy could have just went and did his bid and came out.
Ate that shit.
That's what's so crazy in this movie. It's like, okay, he's in jail and this guy could have just did that time and then it would have just been like that. But he's so about himself. He couldn't look past his own nose, man, to say, like, you know what Fred's doing is bigger than me. I'm gonna take my time. You want to put me in jail? Put me in jail. You know what I mean? Like, it's nuts. And that's why I know that hit him, and that's why he killed himself like he did.
I don't think he killed himself, man. I think he's a coward, and he's like, "Don't get me the fuck out of regardless." Here, man. Yeah, I'm trying to go to Cuba.
I mean, but it's like Casey said, that there's that constant juxtaposition where you're like,
it's like, yo, what the hell?
Again, you see Fred. Again, he's a teenager. Both of them are teenagers. Both like, but like Fred, he goes and he's like, I know what I'm getting myself into, because again, at this time in Black civil rights, you know, he has seen Martin killed. He's seen Malcolm killed. Mm-hmm. So he's not coming into this blindsided. He's not coming into this unknowingly, like, in terms of the reach of the FBI. He knows COINTELPRO exists. He knows it's a real thing. And even when he looks at the Black Panthers, he knows they were created and established by young adults. When, you know, Huey Newton, these people, they were in college when they were in collegiate campuses in Cali. You know, Shaka Khan was a teenager when she was serving breakfast with the Black Panthers. She was 15. Okay. So it's like Casey is saying, knowing all these factors, Fred says, I'm still gonna put it all on the line for the people. And I don't have a martyr complex. I'm not trying to do this for vainglory. I really believe this shit is worth dying for.
Yeah.
And like, even to the point where they're like, Fred, we're gonna, like, to me, the most telling part of the movie where Fred is like, forget Biggie Smalls, I'm ready to die, is like where they're like, they got the money, they got the envelope, and they're like, hey, Fred, you can go hide out to this company. He's like, y'all sitting here talking about Algeria and all this other shit. We need to be getting this medical. We ain't going. And y'all need to name it after Jake's. So anytime they mention Jake's name, they think about healing and love, because that's what he did. He healed and loved us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. This, like
go to Trinidad.
I'm like, okay. It was inevitable, because
I would have been Trinidad.
Even his girl, you know what I'm saying? Because at this point, even his girl, she done read the poem. She done told him what it's like to be a Black mother and be surrendering her body to a baby. Yeah. And then they trying to get the money. And I'm like, okay, Fred was going to die doing what he loved.
Yeah.
It was going to happen. Yeah. I hate that it happened the way it did.
Yeah.
But shit, this nigga it was going to happen. The king, the God, whatever, like, it was going to happen.
All right, y'all, let's wrap this up. Any final thoughts?
Alonzo, you got any final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
I had a couple, but
go ahead, Casey.
No, I can't remember them. I'm trying to remember them.
Oh yeah, that happens, man. It'll hit you.
Yeah,
it's my fault, man.
No, you're doing great. It's something that you were talking about at the end. I'm glad you got into that. But that's what it was. I wish that I didn't want to say this in the non-spoiler spot, but I wish they gave foreshadowing towards the fact that he's a deep sleeper in the film, because you couldn't see that he was a deep sleeper. The dude was a driver. They could have had a scene where he's just out cold after the speech to articulate that, but that's something that they didn't really articulate. So when she jumped on top of him, and I was like, oh man, this guy, is he dead already? They shoot him already?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, is he poisoned?
Articulated it too clear, but it still got there. It still had the impact. But that's one thing that I noticed, and that's my final thought. This was an amazing movie, and I'm gonna watch it again.
Sleep through bullets, though. Good Lord, that's
man. Not just two. Like, I was in Brooklyn one time, and people were popping shots off, and I woke up. I was like, what the hell? It was like two shots, bang, bang, and then a shotgun went boom. And I was like,
gunshot's a controlled explosion, man. So you just hearing that over.
My cousin was sleeping through the whole thing. I looked at you; he was out like a baby. He lived there. He was accustomed to it. So watching this, I was like, okay, maybe they're accustomed to that type of. But that was like 100 bullets. So damn, man.
Yeah. I mean that 99
not 2 or 5. You know what I mean? Like, that was.
Yeah, we talking about clips being emptied and your wife's on top of you.
Well, I'm gonna say you ain't gonna feel the pressure.
Oh, your woman.
Put your weight on it.
Put your weight on it.
Put your weight on it.
Your woman on top of you, and nothing like.
Yeah, they should have articulated that better.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, man.
Yeah.
Any other final thoughts, guys?
That was heartbreaking, because it's like.
And that was necessary in the movie. It was necessary to be brutal. It was necessary to be real.
I picture a younger actor, though, this young baby face actor. And they're like, wake up, little. Jerome, what's his name? What's that young man?
Jerome.
Jerome, wake up, Jerome. Wake up,
man. Jerome, man. Because it's final thoughts. It's like you both were saying. I think this is a film that again highlights the bittersweet experience of being Black in America. Mm-hmm. It highlights how Frederick Douglass, whose birthday was yesterday, talked about how without struggle there is no progress. And here we are, oftentimes as Black people, our heroes, they don't get to live out the fullness, what we feel is the fullness of their capacity, because they're cut down in their prime. They're cut down right as they're blossoming. Mm-hmm, and this film really captured that. Like Casey said, it would even capture it more, where you say, take a teenager who is coming into young adulthood, just becomes of legal age, and is taking on the FBI, all because he's unifying the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so they didn't like that unity he was bringing between all races. That's
when you're pushing education.
Like, when you contextualize that, where the man, even at the opportunity of using arms, and says, okay, I'm using that as a potential last resort. I'm still using all my other resources to build social equity amongst our people. That is powerful. And it just shows how much more now in 2021, we're fighting for some 4 decades later after his assassination.
Yeah. Akil, any final thoughts, man?
You think one day we're going to have a Sean King Boulevard?
50 decades. Sean, what?
Yeah.
The hell with Sean King.
We're gonna have a Sean King Boulevard one day, man.
Malcolm X, Megan Nevers.
We're gonna have it, man. He out here.
Fred Hampton.
We're gonna have a Tamika Mallory Boulevard, a Sean King Boulevard.
We better not ever have a Sean King Boulevard.
Sean King
I swear
Drive.
for God. That won't be where the money resides. It'll be where the scammers reside.
Man, the money gonna reside over there, man.
God damn, man. Oh, you
I
just
think I'm
had
gonna end the
to talk
podcast
about-
on that note, man.
Had to bring up Malcolm X.
Sean King Boulevard,
Megan Nevers. No Good Marshall.
where you get the best fried chicken and fried fish ever.
Fred Scampton.
You and your beef with Sean King, man.
It's because the nigga is a culture vulture and he is misappropriated. He's a habitual line stepper. Akil.
Dr. Umar Johnson, Drive.
My brother, what you have to understand, Akil. Yesterday I shared a video of Akil about
Oh, crumpling them cookies. Gotta crush her cookie.
he said, your woman, when she comes home from work at tight, listen, even the most saintly, priestly woman wants her cookies crushed.
I gotta check that out.
Whoa, not cookies and cream.
It's on their podcast page. What about the Tariq Nasheed Drive?
Oh, to Tariq Agreed.
Another
Listen,
one.
man.
Come on, man.
Snake oil sellers, basically.
Foundational Black Americans.
Jeez.
Man, listen, they better not be, because if they are foundational Black Americans, we are in trouble. We are doomed.
I believe in them, man. We're gonna get them streets, man.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna get me a nice house on the Sean King Boulevard.
You're gonna see Uncle Ruckus right next door. Oh
Hey.
Lord, they don't let a nigga like you come on down here. What type of paper brown tag? They need to bring back the paper brown bags. I can't believe it. They don't let a nice little nigga like Akil move on out here. Sean
It's
King
gonna
Boulevard.
happen, man. It's gonna happen. Look,
Did you pay your taxes to the white man? Did you
Look,
think the
give it
white
20
side
years.
of Sean King for his good?
20 years. We're gonna have chapters on Martin Luther King, and then the next chapter gonna be like, we got another king in town, Sean King.
It better be Regina.
No, it ain't gonna be Regina. It's gonna be Sean King.
Is King his actual last name, or did he just put that on there?
It's his actual
That's
name.
his name, yeah,
It's
that's
his
his
name. That is true. That is true. It is King. It better be Regina King if they're gonna do
No,
Boulevard.
man, Sean
dog.
King's a white man out here working hard.
Man, he said that. Why does he look like T.I. though? They see
That's
this
what I was
like
thinking.
he look like a goddamn bleached T.I. I can't deal with
Just
this shit.
albino Ti. Why you gonna hate on albino people?
Same glasses, same face.
Did you guys see the movie with T.I. with the albino
Oh
makeup
my
on?
God!
Bro, that was Sean
was he
King the whole
supposed to
time.
have?
He didn't know.
What was that about?
Make him
I
pay
s-
the toll, put his thing for a raccoon.
I
to
saw
scoop
that
him up.
movie one time and I was like, "Yep, I did it. I
Cutthroat
checked the
City.
I checked the box." I watched it for I watched it for Demetrius Ship, and then I was like, "Oh shit, Terrence Howard's in this thing, man."
Yeah.
Oh man.
When I
Terrence
saw that, I was
Howard,
like,
man.
"Oh Lord, Terrence is in this."
Terrence Howard in the movie.
He was just like a cap as a
Oh,
roommate.
no.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler. Yeah, he was in there, man.
I was like, "Oh, Terrence Howard."
Hey,
in this
before
movie,
we go,
man.
this is WandaVision related. So
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
gonna talk about Pedro being recasted, but they ain't say a damn thing about War Machine being recasted from Terrence Howard.
Come on, man. Let's
How
talk
they gonna
about
act
that.
like Terrence Howard with the perm.
Hella
was the
shades
first War
different.
Machine.
Hella shades different.
And how do you guys feel about Terrence Howard saying, "Yo, I want to get a pay bump. This is going to be a big deal movie," and they're like, "No," and then he's like,
He
"Well,
deserved
that's
that,
gonna pay
man.
me."
Robert
Look at-
Downey was a whole crackhead at the time, man.
I'm saying,
Man.
like the things he was arguing was what Iron Man ended up arguing too, and then he ended up getting it.
They're like, "Sir, you are black. Sit in the corner. Take
Nobody
what
talks
we
about
give
that,
you."
though.
It says,
Gosh,
they say, look, man, we can't pay you that, man.
black. Take what you get. Keep it moving. This man right here, we're gonna make him a star.
Oh
Yeah,
my
he's a
God.
liability right now, but we're gonna clean him up. He's gonna be our star. Yeah, I said what I said. He was a liability at the time. He was cheap.
Oh. Yeah, man.
Robert Downey was cheap back then.
He
They're
was.
Yeah, no, he was.
fresh off of
He
like Alan
was.
McBeal. He still had some crack in the veins. Still had some Burger King on the lips.
When he had showed
He was
up in
ready to
somebody's house butt naked, and like you said, you were getting retail value at a wholesale price in those movies.
He was
Rockstar
doing the
lifestyle
same
might not
stuff
make
Martin
it.
Lawrence was doing. Remember, Martin Lawrence was naked out here in these streets.
Yeah, taking a
And you
lap,
see
taking
how
a
they
jog.
demonized him?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Come on,
Absolutely.
now. Called him all kinds of crackhead.
Yeah, they did.
And he
Whew.
barely got on Bad Boy 3. He came on there chubby. He ain't work out. Will Smith been working out for months. Martin
Facts.
said, "Take me as I am."
Martin came on there looking like Big Mama from Big Mama's house. He looked like Addie Mae Pierce.
Martin said, "Hey, at least I'm sober." He said, "That's how
Damn.
you do that."
You can look like Hattie
I'm
Mae
sober.
Pierce with a brush cut.
They're like, "You ain't gonna work out or nothing." Nah, son. Nah. We gonna write it into the story. I'm retiring, bro. We gonna write it into the story.
Hey, Marcus.
That's it for me. I got
Yeah,
all
man.
off my chest. I'm good now.
This is your video gaming
Free.
therapy. This is
I
your
got
therapy.
it off my chest.
Yeah, off my chest. I think I'm good. Hey, last thoughts, Case. I kept cutting you off, man. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. This with the whole Zoom thing, it's hard to get the conversations like.
I know.
But we
I'm
do
trying
a
to read
damn
your
good
lips,
job
man.
being across the countries.
I try to read your
Hell
lips
yeah.
while I'm looking to your eyes respectfully.
I gotta put up a do-rag when I'm ready to talk. I'll be like, yo, wave my do-rag.
Hey, I'm
Swing
like,
a
oh
rag.
shit, Casey ready to talk, man.
Swing around like I'm a Swiss Beats track.
Yeah,
Me and Casey really got to do some production where we just have I have a Bacchanal shirt.
Yep.
He has the Bacchanal do rag,
Hey,
and we just
let's
market
go.
ourselves as we talk.
I'm saying.
I started to take the Bacchanal photo that you guys have on your page and put that as my backdrop for this Zoom. So
Oh,
I'm
that's what's
gonna
up.
do that next time.
Okay,
You know
cool.
you're a recurring guest. You might as well.
Yeah, man.
You
Let
might as
people
well.
know.
All right, everybody.
All right, y'all. This is the
Another
Bacchanal
beautiful episode.
Podcast. That's it for me,
Me too.
Casey and Alonzo. Anything y'all want to say before y'all leave?
I'm good, man. Y'all be well, stay black, and stay black and proud.
Make sure y'all hit us up on the Bacchanal Podcast fan page. That's the BACCHANAL podcast. And again, on Instagram, we are the _Bacchanal, BACCHANAL.
And it's Bacchanal season right now, so go on YouTube and check out some carnival shit, some carnival
No mask.
performances.
No social
No,
distance.
They said carnival is canceled, but Laventale is still turning up.
Shit.
So, go check out, go support the culture. You know what I mean?
Catching the wine like this, Casey with a mask.
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Yeah.
Support the culture, man. It's a real thing. So
It's a real thing.
All right, y'all. Y'all be safe.
All right,
Peace.
peace, everybody.